Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today the GT Black Series tour continues in epic fashion, going out for a drive in the Ferrari Monza SP1. We're here with my friend RM Collection, who I visited before, and he has purchased this crazy machine, which I'm going to be able to drive today. But before that, and before the mega convoy that's coming up, we're going to be taking a look at all of the goodies you get from Ferrari when you purchase an Icona series hypercar. It's actually really cool. I've never seen some of this stuff, but we're here at the RM Collection. We visited before, went out for a drive in the McLaren Senna GTR, joined also by the Gembala Mirage GT, plus the legendary Ferrari F50. Well, today it's all about 12 cylinders. We're going to be driving with the Monza, with the F50 with its 2B exhaust, and also with the exclusive blue F12tdf for the most awesome of outings on some incredible roads here in New Jersey, outside of New York City, with RM Collection. I'm going to be driving in the SP1. When I came here to visit RM Collection earlier in the year, I knew that this car was going to be arriving, and it's quite a special Monza as well. Of course, every Monza is a special car, and in a moment, it's going to be my turn to drive the SP1. But before that, I want to show you all of the items that Ferrari supply to customers, because a big part of a car like this, an Icona series hypercar, is the experience and involvement that you have with the manufacturer. And this car, to be honest, I had no idea what it was all about until I've just been taking a look. Before we head over though, quick introduction to the Monza if you're not familiar with it. The first of the Icona cars. There are 499 of them in total. It links back to the iconic 750 Monza. The cars were available either as the SP1, which is the single seat with a single buttress and the tonneau cover over the other side, or the SP2, which gives you a two-seat and double buttress configuration, loosely based on the 812 Superfast, so a car with the 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12 rear-driven 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. In fact, I actually want to open this up because it looks beautiful, as Ferrari engine bays always do. There are two latches, one on either side, and then the whole front clam pivots towards the front. Have a look at this as I carefully lift it forwards. Full carbon fibre bodywork to reveal that 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12, 810 horsepower, 719 newton meters of torque, front mid-mounted just behind the front axle. Looks amazing. And while you're driving, you've got the sound of that fully open to the elements. The doors are butterfly doors that pivot out. This particular car, like I said, is quite special because it was actually the Ferrari North America launch car. So I think I've even seen it before in Grigio Titanio, with the Giallo Modena, the flat yellow accents for the buttress, over the Cioccolato for the leather interior, the harnesses to hold you in place, all of the usual features and functionality. And I've been lucky to drive the SP2 with Power Slide Lover in Italy, and that was mega, I'm not gonna lie. So it goes without saying that I'm quite looking forward to this in just a moment. But before we do that, let me close it carefully back down. Super delicately does this. Do not want anything to go wrong. It just clicks down into place. But just look at the way this is presented. You've got the rear mirror here, the virtual windshield, but this whole flat cover is just going to make for a surreal driving experience. We've got the painted Scuderia rear shields, we've got the painted Giallo Modena stripe across the front. But I should get to all of the goodies because, like I said, you often see the end product. You see the car, you hear the stories of driving the car, those are amazing, but there's also often more to this as well. While you're waiting for the car, while you're building your specification, and I've never seen the things that are supplied with the Monza. Let's start right over here with the helmet. You receive two helmets, the Berluti helmets with the leather, even with that carbon stripe over the top, Ferrari logo on the side. These are actually Bluetooth, so you can be listening to your music or jump on a call while you're out on the road. There are two of those. The visors also pop up. If you would like to have the visor open, you can open up your sunglasses, your glasses that are provided with it, which are very, very retro in their styling, completely like a Ferrari racer from back in the 60s. Love those and the way they're presented inside that pouch. You have the Loro Piana leather gloves as well. And then we get to even more things here. So this, for example, if I just show you what we have inside here, is an individual sketch which every owner receives of their car with their chassis number on it. So you can see the SP1 in the grey and the yellow on there. We have this fabulous carbon fibre book, but I'm going to need to clear some space for that. So before we get to that, you have the speed form carbon base and the shape of the SP1. Again, you'd get an SP1 or an SP2, depending which car you've ordered. You get the humidor, as you have done in recent times with many Ferrari models, which comes with the 1:43 scale speed form as well, of your specific choice of car. Plus, this is where you can store the key, of course, the key from this generation of the Ferraris. But I need to pop these, it's even got the graphic on the top as well of the Monza, over here, and that's going to bring me on to something else to show you just on this side, which is what we have in here. Also from Loro Piana, we have, check this out, the matching clothes to go with the car as well. So inside here, we've got the jacket. Inside the jacket, we also have a fleece just here as well. We also have a red scarf, plus the matching trousers that go with that, and even a flat cap to go with it as well. The full works. Plus, I haven't yet talked about this, the book. Yes, this huge thing is a book for this particular car. It is carbon fiber, as you can see here, Ferrari Monza SP1. I'm just going to close this up to show you a little bit of what's inside here, because if we go through, have a look at this. These are pictures of the car in a huge scale. In fact, if I turn on a couple more pages and we go to the 3/4, have a look at this. Half scale picture of the car. It's kind of difficult to open this fully up. Look at that. How cool is that? How cool is that? Absolutely epic. And I think most people don't realize this is the kind of stuff that comes with these cars, and what makes them so special. If you can be, that person who's lucky to order it directly from the factory, to build a specification, to go through the exact details of it all. So let's pack all that up for the moment, because we need to do a little bit of shuffling around. The SF90 Spider Assetto Fiorano will need to move out of the way so we can get the F50 out, the Monza and the TDF, and go and drive and have some fun on some wonderful roads pretty near here. This is going to be good. Time to get the harness on, get belted in. I hope it's not going to be too windy in here. Kind of go with the flow. Let's get this started again. Oh yes, that sounds hardcore. Right, going to turn off stop start, do a little bit of a mirror shuffle. It does feel quite strange with how far away from me the mirrors actually are. And then, I suppose, kind of make my way out. Get rolling. This is bizarre. You are sat so low in here. You're sat right down. Kind of got the exhaust valves closed. We're in race at the moment though. That's so low to the ground. It's Monza time. This is where I really hope that you can hear me rather than just hearing crazy wind noise, because obviously I won't know until I look back at the videos later. But I tell you what, this feeling immediately is kind of that sense of, what am I doing? Or what am I doing driving this thing? Just rewind back for a second. I'm following an F50 with a Mexico blue TDF following me, driving in a Monza SP1 here today with RM Collection. This is unbelievable. This is totally ridiculous. The second time I've been lucky to drive a Monza, and it's, again, something I can't quite put into words. But when you're just cruising at slightly slower speeds like this, bit of wind in the hair, 40 miles per hour, it's truly perfect. Just, I mean, like, drop it down to second gear. That noise of the V12, because this is one of the most glorious engines ever. Being sat in here, you're acutely aware that it's a big thing. There's a massive, massive bonnet out in front of me, and it's also pretty wide, and I'm not entirely sure where the right-hand side of the car is, because it's, I don't know, there's just a mirror that's floating out of nothing over on the other side of it. But, I mean, this... the wind built up so quickly. It's really, really windy inside here. Really, really windy. And this car is virtually new. It's only a bit over 100 miles on it, so I cannot thank RM Collection enough for this, because I feel like I'm doing some of the running in mileage in this Monza. Oh, that's a cool way to go about things. You just hear people shouting from the side of the road. I love that second and third gear noise. Slow speed. The burble and the bark. And the snap on the shifts. Valves open in race. If you soften it into sport, or even all the way into wet, the valves actually close in wet. That's interesting. Huge differences. I do not intend to be going CT off right now. Just enjoying the cruise, a leisurely drive on a beautiful day here in the state of New York. When you slow down towards a traffic light, God, you feel all of that. You can't see that. My hair must be everywhere. Yep, my hair is definitely everywhere. Oh gosh. The feeling of the steering in a Ferrari V12 is always amazing, but in here, this kind of experience is even more so. It's even more direct and precise, just because you're so much aware of the senses. You have so much more sense of what you're doing, the feel, the environment. I think people see this with no roof and just say, what is that? It's not a convertible? How does that work? What is that thing? We're just meandering along this road in a bit of traffic at the moment, but I tell you one thing that's surprising me slightly is that I've not yet had my face thwacked by a stone pinging up from the F50. I do remember a couple of those from my previous drive. Obviously my eyes are protected thanks to wearing sunglasses, but the open experience does mean that you are a little bit vulnerable to flies, to bugs, and to little stones, which would not exactly be the most fun in the world. But I tell you what, just slow speed is where you enjoy this thing the most, even though obviously it's immensely capable. Second gear, foot down, and it's going to take off and launch you to another stratosphere. 800 odd horsepower, and not exactly particularly heavy. In fact, it's only 1,500 kilos for the SP1, 1,520 kilos for the SP2. But I'm just enjoying the vibe, and following the F50, I talk about it endlessly. The F50 is my favorite car in the world. Absolute favorite car in the world. Costs about as much as my entire collection put together, but my favorite car in the entire world, if I could, one day. It's kind of appreciated in price constantly, as I might have been able to get closer to it, so it will have to live as a distant dream, one of 349 cars. But to be in this combo, this lineup, this little group, as we open up a little bit, and it gets windier very, very, very quickly inside here. Oh gosh, even driving the speed limit is kind of like, it's a little bit much. And I can see the F50 is itching to go. I decided to give up talking when the other guys overtook me because I instantly got a face full of stones. Kind of unsurprising with the other cars and fat rear tyres, but I didn't fancy going at fast speeds, getting my face obliterated. So they've disappeared up this twisty road, but we are in a park, a perfect place to drive. That second gear sound is just the best. It's definitely getting a little bit colder. I probably should have been wearing a jacket. And I tell you what, to enjoy this the most, you really need to have the helmet set up. I've said that way too many times, but I think it really emphasizes the point of what I would recommend to maximize enjoyment of a car like this. But this is insane. This is absolutely incredible. Gosh, it's fast. It's really fast. You just don't necessarily want to do it. It's kind of a bit of a thrill, but too much, it's just kind of overkill. And your face
starts to run everywhere. Kind of reminds me of Jeremy Clarkson driving in the Ariel Atom. That sense of, what's going on here? What am I doing? Was this a good idea? Not exactly sure. I'm back with the entourage. Caught up at last. But I did enjoy those gentle miles, to be completely honest. Not that I don't enjoy following an F50. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. For one-time experience, this is like the ultimate. And I've been lucky to drive this and to go in the V12 Speedster from Aston Martin and to go and drive the Elva as well in Dubai, but for me it's this. I think the V12 Speedster is the least blustery because you're more encompassed within the car. The Elva has that active air management system at the front, which lifts up that contraption, which does actually make a big difference, but because it's a mid-engine car, it feels like you want to drive really, really fast. And I drove the Elva with a windshield, and that was even more of an experience, I would say, because it wasn't like this, but it was still pretty open, it was still really open. But this, for the one-time drive on the road, I mean, the Ferrari V12, right? First gear. It's so savage. I can hear the TDF coming behind. The view in this floating mirror is also really cool, of that car behind me. Next to the rocks. First gear. We are arriving at a lookout, but just being here with these cars is obviously causing a little bit of a stir, unsurprisingly. I don't know exactly where we are, other than that the roads have been great. It is spectacularly busy up here. These two are causing quite a stir. The view out this way is, I mean, there are lots and lots of tourists here, but the view is just extraordinary. But I can actually make the rest of this journey a little bit more pleasant because we conveniently have in the trunk, in the boot space back here, a helmet. So I can do, well, I've got the visor, and also within the helmet are the built-in glasses that pop down from the top. This is the second one, the other one is back at base, but I can wear this, and that is probably going to make the rest of this journey. Which way am I going to do it? Like that? Yeah, that's probably going to make it a little bit more comfortable to continue down from here. Right, let's do this again. Engine on, get belted up. This should be a little bit smoother. Head on down, visor down. All right, let's see what this is like. Visor down, you could probably have the sunglasses down and the visor down. Sunglasses down, yeah, and visor down. Oh, that's snazzy. That's really snazzy. I hope you can hear me fine. This is cool. This is actually really cool like this. You feel like a complete baller. There's that anonymity that comes from having a helmet and a visor. Yes, I like this. Right, we're going to head down to another lookout where hopefully we can grab a photo because it's so busy here. Oh, that transforms the driving experience. It's not only having the helmet on, but because you don't have all the wind noise rushing over your ears, literally, you hear the engine sound, which otherwise you didn't have. It's a completely different experience. I'm actually amazed by how that feels like I've just jumped into a different car. I feel like I'm driving something different to what I was driving before now. Just by wearing the helmet. Oh, that's, yeah. I should have done that before. Gosh. Yes! Right. We'll need to find some more open roads. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Well, how about that for a view? 3 Ferrari V12s with the most spectacular of backdrops and 3 really quite different driving experiences. The legendary gated manual Ferrari F50, the
absolute brute that is the F12tdf, and of course this magnificent Monza, the SP1. 3 awesome cars to have together here, in fact, for a little spontaneous photo shoot before we head back towards base. Well, yeah, that's a pretty special view, isn't it? That is a really pretty special view. It's go time again. I'm never gonna get bored of that. Never, ever, ever. Right, visor's down. Wait, no, sunglasses down first, then visor. It's so infinitely cool. It is so infinitely cool. The sharpness of those blips. So, in our little convoy, because I'm pretty low on petrol, gas out here, and could do with filling that up while we work out where we're heading to next. So, follow the TDF, F50 to bring up the rear. I'm going to use the lift system again. No problem here. That works. Nice. We're going to be crossing a railroad. This is the beauty of getting a little bit lost, isn't it? You always find yourself somewhere epic. That was amazing for a few photos here. Now cross back over the railroad. I'm completely blind to the front. I can't see at all. We're good. Okay, lift system down. Away we go. Back on the road towards base. Although I tell you what, this is pretty cool. Under the bridge here, this is what I was just saying about getting lost. Random houses right down underneath this bridge. That's really, really cool. I'm just driving meanwhile in this convoy still. I mean, yeah, not a bad way to spend today. I'm not complaining in the slightest. I just can't get my head around how monumental this is. The roads here are super busy, but still, it's just crazy. And I'm sorry for how long and how much I've waffled on about this, but this is something else. This is something, like, it's an experience. That's nice. This is just, I can't believe it. Back at base and parking the cars up. Cool to see that Senna GTR again. What a machine. And the burble in the background of the F50 coming to line up alongside these two. That was a cool drive. It turns out you can drive the Monza just how I drive the SLS Black Series. To tuck this away inside. We're back inside and parked up then. What an experience. And look how cool this is actually with the tail light wrapping around the whole rear deck. The car has a few really large panels, like the whole of this rear deck, the whole of the front, and just, it's a cool piece of design. I mean, this, by the way, the windshield here, the idea is that air goes in underneath this carbon top and is then pushed up, which pushes all the other air up, so it goes over your head, so you get less blustery in the cabin than you would be otherwise, which I would say works, but you definitely still enjoy it more if you're covered, if you've got something on your head. But for that drive, the V12, V12 and V12 was something from out of this world, to be completely honest. The Monza is a masterpiece. It's such a wonderful car. That front mid V12 setup, combined with a car that looks like that, combined with being the Ferrari Icona series, with being so limited, with being so collectible, so desirable. And this is, you know, the ultimate thing. So a huge congratulations to RM Collection on adding this to the lineup. And what an amazing day that has been as well, to drive the car, to drive it in a convoy like that, and to have seen some of the things that are all part of the experience purchasing one of these from Ferrari. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for plenty more, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.